Hello and welcome to the Crestron Fusion support video on adding nodes, rooms, and assets to Crestron Fusion web client on a cloud-based server. First, log into your web client, then open the tab at the top by clicking Open, and select the Setup page. If you expand your root folder, you will see all the room nodes that have been set up. You can create more node folders that will allow for better organization of your rooms. To create a node, select the root node and then select Add and Add Node. Creating a node only requires a name and server group, which will be default group, but feel free to fill out any other additional information and hit Save and Close. To create a room, select the node to which you wish to add a room to, then click Add and then Add Room. Input the name of the room. This will be the name which will appear on the scheduling panels. Feel free to enter a description of the room, but it is not required. Server group allows to enable or disable a room. To enable, select Default Group, and to disable, select Group will not be loaded. The location field serves as a string that will allow users to look up nearby available rooms from a scheduling panel. If the room you are currently at is booked, then you can then choose a different room with the same location string and book a meeting there instead. Now, select the proper time zone. eControl and webcam are additional Crestron Fusion services but will not be covered in this video. The following fields are purely informational and optional, but feel free to fill them out with the proper information. Once you are done, hit Save and Close at the bottom and you will see the room appear under the node in which you created the room. To add an asset using cloud services, we will require Crestron Toolbox, but if you have a newer scheduling panel, this can be done through your web browser. This video will cover both methods. Using Crestron Toolbox, you will want to connect to the touch panel. The first thing we will do is set a hostname by entering hostname, followed by the actual name and hitting enter. This is the name under which the device will appear in the web client. It is recommended to set the hostname as the name of the room in which the asset will be located, or some derivative of it. Then we will enter Cloud Enable, followed by On. Then press Enter. Finally, enter Cloud URL, followed by your cloud URL. If you do not have this information, do not worry, it is easy to acquire. If you go to your web client, we will want to copy this part of the client URL, which is the primary URL /Fusion. Paste this into Crestron Toolbox and add /device manager /API /device manager and press enter. Before we reboot, enter an ipconfig just to check for a valid DNS server. You should also be able to use the ping command to contact a familiar website. Note, some environments do not allow for this function. We can now enter and reboot to restart the device. Now, go to the web client and select the Discovered Objects node. The touch panel will show up here automatically, but there is a refresh button at the bottom of the screen. Note the panel can take a few minutes to connect. If you have a newer touch panel, you can use Crestron Toolbox method from before, but using a web browser is a lot simpler. To connect to the touch panel, enter the IP assigned to the touch panel in your web browser. From here, select the Settings tab at the top, then open the System Setup menu. Here, we can set the hostname for the device, and if we scroll down, you will find the Crestron Fusion and Cloud settings. Enable the cloud and enter the cloud URL, which is your primary URL /Fusion /device manager /API /device manager. From here, select the Save Changes button at the top right. This will then show a prompt that asks you to reboot the device. Select Yes. If we go to the web client and select the Discovered Objects node, the device should show up within a few minutes. Once you add your device, you can then drag the asset into your desired room. As a final step, to make sure the devices are connected to the servers and running, click on the Open tab at the top and select the Room View Monitoring page. If you do not see the assets, make sure you're in the Assets tab. Thank you for watching.